AC/DC, they don't have to put anything backwards. It's all forwards. I'm on the highway to hell. If God's on the left, then I'm sticking to the right. All my friends are going to be there too. Hell's bells. Every single one of these, this particular music. I was really into AC/DC, actually. I'm sorry to say, I have to confess. Their music with the hard pounding, sound it had me. Angus Young was quoted as saying, "By the time we're halfway through the first number, someone else is steering me. I'm just along for the ride. I become possessed when I get on stage." Alice Cooper claims to have received his name from a spirit by the same name at a seance. Cooper claimed that while performing, this spirit, quote, partly takes over his actions and singing on stage. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Wish they all could be. Brian Wilson. He hears voices. They talk to him. They distract him. They frighten him. They confuse him. Right now, as this creative genius behind the Beach Boys' classic surf rock sound sits for an interview in his darkened living room, the Pacific crashing loudly outside his $1 million Malibu home, the voices are calling. The 46-year-old screws up his face. His eyes roll toward the ceiling. They've gone blank. His brow is furrowed with thick worry lines. He is silent. He is gone. One interviewer wrote about him during an interview. Warner Brothers Records president Lenny Waronker claims to have encountered at least 5 different entities that use Brian Wilson bodied as their home. Quote, "There are a lot of different people there," says Waronker. "I have met 5 different people." It's not just music, it's movies. Sandra Bullock. She confesses to her witchcraft inclinations. She says, "It's almost like it's my conscience and my devil all in one. It's almost like I can read minds at this point. Instinct or intuition or a sixth sense that's like our gift." Oprah Winfrey. One called her America's pastor. She reaches more people in one day than a pastor will in a lifetime. Oprah Winfrey calls these her go-there moments, spiritual episodes of divine guidance that far transcend the chatty exchanges with her studio audiences. Sometimes the epiphanies carry the voices of Negro slaves, Joe and Emily and Dara, Sue and Bess and Sarah. Winfrey says that she has come to know each of them personally and calls them in at will to guide her in her work. The spirits began visiting her a few years ago. Oprah freely confesses to demonic possession as a tool to enhance her influencing performances before the camera. She said, quote, "I tried to empty myself and let the spirit of Seth inhabit me. Every morning before my scenes, I lit candles and said the names of these slaves. I prayed every day to the ancestors." I don't know if you might want to do a YouTube search for Oprah Winfrey. She denies Jesus Christ. She has a form of Christianity, but it's not the same Jesus that you and I believe in and are trusting in. I want to recommend some resources. Martin and I had, Martin had provided a number of these, copies of these DVDs free of charge. We had placed them on the information table, and of course they were gone instantaneously. But one of them, and I don't recommend this for the faint at heart, it's called "They Sold Their Souls for Rock and Roll." It's a 10-hour documentary. And it will absolutely scare the hell out of you. When I was on the mainland in the pastorate there, we would take this, it was only 4 hours then, this is a number of years ago, we would take it into the prison ministry, and we would show it to a pod of 20 inmates at a time. And without exception, every single one of them would weep and come to Jesus Christ. It was the most powerful tool we ever had. That's the first time they'd ever heard that. And it deals with really the entertainment industry as it relates to music. Also, Hollywood's war on God. The other ones they have are Hollywood Unmasked, and it's from Fight the Good Fight Ministries. I think it's Fight the Good Fight. I think that it's on the screen there. Goodfight.org. You can go to their website and get that CD, especially if you or someone you know is involved in these kinds of listening to this kind of music. Now, let me hasten to say that if the music you listen to and the movies you watch and the relationships you have draw you close to the Lord, then that's okay. But if the music you listen to and the movies you watch and the relationships you have draw you away from the Lord, then that's not okay. And that's really the litmus test. I mean, does this mean you only listen to Christian music? You know, I happen to really like some Hawaiian music. I love the ukulele music, and I love to listen. I love music. Always have. Music has always had a big part of my life, even as a young child playing several different instruments. But the litmus test is, and some of these movies, you know, I'll watch. I do have what they call clear play DVD player that you download the updates from the website. You subscribe to this membership, and it edits all of the foul language and the sex scenes and the violence and the objectionable material so that you're watching without cannibalizing the movie. You can still enjoy the movie. So, I mean, there are some good movies out there with good themes. But sometimes they put certain things in there that I don't want to watch, and I surely don't want my kids to watch. So we will put in the filter, and it edits out all of those scenes. And you can still enjoy the movie. And sometimes these secular movies can have a good, godly message. You know, some of the Christian music, can I just be really candid with you? Of course I can. I just said I would. So I think a lot of Christian music today does not glorify God. I think it glorifies man. I think it's self-focused. It's not worship. Oh, it's contemporary Christian music. I'll tell you, man, I listen to some of that music and I'm not edified. I feel my flesh rising up. Man, it's got a good beat. I don't even know what kind of words I'm singing. And I want the music that I listen to be vertical. I want it to be vertical from me to Him. Because I want Him to inhabit the praise that I have for Him. Because He inhabits the praises of His people. We'll get into a little bit more of this, the difference between praise and worship when we study Leviticus 18, the next chapter, which will be not next Thursday, of course, because of Christmas Eve, but the following Thursday. I want to talk a little bit about worship. I think we don't have a clue what worship is. We think that, you know, this or that is worship. I got to say this, and I hate to say this. No, I don't. I want to say this. Am I arguing with myself? Yes, I am. Maybe I'll win my argument. I don't know. God help us with contemporary Christian music. God help us. I wonder, you know, is it just to make money? Is it just to make, hey, you know, some